Welcome back. This is the Kenyan High Schooler from KCC to Electrical Engineering. Today we have a focus on the Bachelor of Science in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Let's get started. So we ask ourselves a few questions always when tackling these courses. And our first question today is, what is electrical engineering as a career and am I ready for it? The next question, what are the admission requirements to study in Kenya? And then what are the costs and where can I actually enroll? Number 4, what are the stages and duration of pursuing this particular degree? And then number 5, what career opportunities and specialties can one explore in this field? After I have my degree, what can I do? That will shock you as we conclude this particular video. You will come to realize how many fields and so many fields that you can be able to actually get in with this particular degree. Let's get in. So what is electrical engineering as a career? It deals with electricity, electronics, and electromagnetism to design systems like power grids, circuits, and communication networks. Okay, so what really do you expect after you enroll to this degree? What are you going to be studying? You'll be studying core subjects like circuits. Circuits is the study of electrical parts that power devices. Okay, you also do electronics. Electronics simply is the study of components like resistors, diodes, and transistors used in devices. You also study electromagnetism, which is the study of electricity and magnetism and how they will interact. Then you also study digital systems, which are systems that use binary, that you learn that the OS and 1S for processing information like computers. Something else you expect is practical learning. You'll also be in the labs, meaning that you'll have hand-on experiments like building circuits or testing how they work. You'll also be dealing with programming microcontrollers. These are writing codes for small computers used in devices like robots. Okay, you also expect to have math and programming, whereby you will have calculus and linear algebra, because math is needed to analyze the electrical systems. You also need coding languages like Python or MATLAB for solving electrical problems and designing systems. Okay, then you now have what we call innovative projects, because you will have to work on projects like renewable energy systems. These are creating solutions like the solar panels or wind turbines. And then you have smart devices, whereby you will be designing gadgets that can think or connect, like the smart thermostats. Or you will also be dealing with robotics, whereby you will be building machines that can perform tasks automatically. Okay, then finally you will also expect to have team collaboration, whereby you will often collaborate with mechanical and software engineers, because this field is a field that is integrated with other fields. You cannot do it all alone. So let's get to some myths. What are those myths that people know out here? That electrical engineers will only fix wires, but the reality is that they will actually design complex systems that power everything from the cities to smartphones. So they have a lot and important work to do out here. Another myth is that it's all theory and there's no creativity. But the reality is, electrical engineering actually combines creativity with problem solving, especially in the cutting edge technology. So you've gotten in love with electrical engineering. What next? Admission requirements. So what are these admission requirements? Am I really able to get into it? Let's see. We have what we call the direct entry, whereby you need a minimum grade, KCC grade of a C plus to do electrical engineering in Kenya. However, this comes very quickly. Competition is real. Hence, you have to score highly in order to do this course. Because what will throw you off is not whether you have a C plus or not, it's the competition. Because if someone has an A and they want to do this degree, then they will be given that privilege, and then you'll be told to wait to see whether we have a spot for you. So again, the score really matters and comes into play. So how is this score arrived to? This score is arrived by COOPs, whereby they will calculate your points using raw marks. What do you mean by raw marks? So for you to be able to get your points, which now we shall call the cutoff points, you shall need a couple of things, and one of those is the overall grade. Do you have an A plane? Do you have an A minus, a B plus, a C plus, and all that? That will really determine, and it will give you so many points when calculating these points here, because it is part of the formula, which is a formula that is really guarded by NEC. It is not really out here, in as much as people say that they have that formula to calculate, but only COOPs can be able to calculate that score. Do you know why? Because of the raw marks. You see, you might have two people with A planes. One has an A plane of 85, the other one has an A plane of 100, but those two cannot be the same. The one with an A point of 100 will have a stronger cutoff point because of those raw marks, and only NEC can be able to know your raw marks. For we others out here, you just know you had an A minus, and whatnot. Okay, so overall grade is key. Something else that will throw you off balance is what we call the cluster subjects. Cluster subjects are subjects that have been set aside by the relevant regulatory body to ensure that those who are coming to do this particular course have actually met their requirements. And these are the four cluster subjects. Mathematics, you must have a B plus. Take this, a B plus or higher, for you to actually do this particular course. If you fail to have a B plus, my friend, you cannot do electrical engineering in Kenya. Physics the same. If you don't have a B plus, electrical engineering is not for you in Kenya. Chemistry, you must have a B or higher for you to pursue medicine. Electrical engineering in Kenya. Without this, it's over. The reason I'm confusing with medicine is because it is so similar to medicine. You also have English or Kiswahili. If you don't have a B minus or higher, then again, pursuing this particular course is actually tough. Very tough. So you can see these are very high points that you have to get in order for you to actually do this particular course in this particular country, and that will actually generate a cut of points as you see below here. So what next? That is a direct entry, but we have alternative pathways that you can be able to actually do this course. You can have a diploma in electrical engineering, then you will come and actually transfer, whereby you must obtain a credit or a distinction in your diploma for you to be allowed to do this degree. For the degree holders in other fields, you can actually pursue this through transfer of credits, okay, if that is allowed by the university that you really want to pursue in. For the foreigners, we have requirements whereby you must meet equivalent qualifications in your high school systems, which is the A minor levels and the IB, and you also have to obtain a certificate of equivalency from NEC, and you also have to show proficiency in English, and you have to apply directly to the university. That's nice. So, I've fallen in love with electrical engineering, I've made the admission, so how am I going now to get to these universities? First of all, which are those universities? We have two set of universities: public universities and the private. In public, we have UON, Moi University, Kenyatta, Egerton, JKUAT, Duke, Multimedia University, Masinde Muliro, Dedan Kimathi, Meru University. Then for the private, we have Strathmore, Mount Kenya, Quare, the Catholic University of East Africa, and ZTech, and so many others that do not have fit here, but these are the major ones that will offer this particular course. So how am I going to get into them? You can either get to this course through what we call COOPS, that is the body that actually places students after their KCSE to these schools. And you can only be placed by COOPS if you are competitive enough. So what happens when you're not competitive and you still meet the requirements and you still want to do electrical engineering? You can actually pursue this course through self-sponsorship, which can be through local, that is a Kenyan, or foreigners, as you've said. So let's get more into it and see how this actually happens. This is what we call the sponsorship. Okay, so we have the government sponsorship, and we say that each university we have a quota. Each public university has a limited number of government sponsored slots, usually allocated by COOPS. Okay, and you find the number actually varies yearly based on the national need and the funding. So you might find that the government might only sponsor, like, let's say 100 students to pursue this course, or even less to actually pursue this course in a particular university. Okay, so if you're not competitive enough to meet that quota for that university, you're not going to get into that university, and you can only do that through self-sponsorship, as we said, which is now going to be fully funded by your parent, a guardian, or even a financial institution, as you will agree with them. And you have to apply directly to the university if you decide to use this route. It's something that I usually advise always and every time. You should apply early, because again, some of these positions, some of these universities have very limited slots, and these are very competitive courses, and so applying early is a plus for you. Good. So what is the cost like as of 2024? Slightly from 250,000 to 600,000. Again, these are variables that will keep on changing. Just keep on confirming from their website as this keeps on changing, and that will really save you a lot. And this is public it's public information. You can always find it in the different websites of the different universities. So what next? I have my I've fallen in love again. I have met my qualifications. I've gotten the university. So how long will I stay in the university to be able to get this degree? You have to have a standard duration of 5 years. You will stay in that university for 5 years learning. Okay, so how is the breakdown? The breakdown is as follows. You'll have core courses like electrical circuits. We explained all these, electromagnetics, power systems, and digital systems. These are the basic courses you'll be learning, like the units that you'll be learning in your formations, in your pre your first years in the universities. Later, you will have to specialize in areas like renewable energy, in robotics, communication systems, or even the control systems as you will like. Of course, you'll have studied them and you will have your option to specialize or select. Then, final year project. This will be a practical research project in the final year that usually done in most courses, whereby you are given a particular segment and you're supposed to research on it, you're supposed to get information about it, and that will take you to the very end. So, how's the graduation timeline? So, students will typically start the program in the September of the admission year. Once you're admitted in the September, then after 5 years, you will graduate in November and December of your final year, and therefore you'll earn the title electrical engineer at that particular level. So, from there, it is important to note once you become that engineer, you are not yet certified. In as much as you've completed your 5 degrees and you've graduated in the university, you are not a certified engineer in Kenya. So, what will make me a certified engineer? What will make me perform these functions independently without looking upon someone else? There is actually a pathway, and this is something that people actually don't know. The first thing, you have to earn a degree, and that degree is what we have been talking about. That is the Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering, and it must be from an Engineering Board of Kenya accredited university. You must be accredited, and those universities I've told you are already accredited. From there, you have to now register with the Engineers Board of Kenya, now the EBK. So you'll apply for registration as a graduate engineer, then you submit your academic credentials and proof of completion of an accredited program. From there, you now gain work experience. You have to complete at least 3 years of supervised work experience under professional engineer. This is where the catch is. We have so many students as of now in 2024, more than, according to statistics, more than almost 100,000 students who are graduated as engineers, but they are not certified engineers. Why? Because there are very few professional engineers who are can be able to actually, take in the number of these graduate engineers. So this is where the catch is usually. This is what makes people to actually delay to become certified engineers. So from there, you will develop skills in practical electrical engineering applications under them. Okay. So after you've gained your work experience, now professional exams and registrations come in. So you have to pass the EBK professional review exam, and then now you will apply for registration as a professional engineer, PANG. Okay. Then after that is where we have what we call the certification and licensing. By now you receive a practicing license from EBK, and then now you will join the Institution of Engineers of Kenya, IEK, for the networking and professional growth. By that point now you can be able to actually perform these functions all alone because you have the power to do that. But without this, you cannot be able to actually stand alone and do this engineering work. No one can be able to give you these contracts because you are not certified in this country. So what next after my degree? I have my degree. What can I do with it? So this is where now things get interesting. So many things. One, you can get to the power and energy sector. By now you get into the power generation companies, like KenGen. You get to independent power producers, IPPs, like the Ormat and the Olkaria geothermal plants, or you get to the renewable energy companies. You can also decide to go to telecommunications pathways in the ICT, whereby electrical engineers are in high demand in the rapidly growing telecommunication sector, e.g. in Safaricom, Airtel, Telcom Kenya, whereby roles will include designing and maintaining the communication networks, base stations, and the fiber optic installations. You can also decide to do the ICT companies like the Liquid Telcom, whereby we work with the network infrastructure, the hardware systems, and the data centers. You can decide to go to the manufacturing and automation, whereby you'll be working in the factories and processing plants, and here you'll be dealing with the designing and maintenance of electrical systems in industry, such as the cement, sugar, steel manufacturing, and so forth and so on. You'll also be dealing with consumer electronics, whereby you'll be doing design, production, and quality control for companies producing electrical appliances or gadgets. You can also decide to go to the construction and real estate, whereby the majority of people actually fall in. This is where you have the designing and supervision of electrical installations in commercial and residential buildings. Majority of these commercial buildings you see, the electrical installation is not just done by anyone, but by these electrical engineers. Sorry. You can also decide, to go to the transportation and infrastructure. You have the railway system, you maintain and you operate the electrified transport systems, e.g. the standard gauge railway. You also have what you call the aviation and machines, whereby you will be maintaining the systems for the airports, including the lighting and navigation systems, and so many others, including the marine vessel power systems and automations. Then you can go to academic and research. This is where you find teaching and mentorship. You can become a lecturer or an instructor in universities or technical colleges. You can also conduct workshops or training programs for upcoming engineers. You can also do the research and development here, whereby you innovate in renewable energy, robotics, or communication technologies. You can also work with the research institutions or international organizations on cutting edge projects. Then from there, you can also decide to go to entrepreneurship and consulting. Entrepreneurship here, you deal with engineers with business acumen. You can establish your own firm or work as consultants. You start an electrical installation, a solar solutions, or automation company. Okay, or you develop and market innovative products in the energy or electronics, something that is actually becoming something of norm to engineers in this century. This consulting firm, you can actually provide expertise in project management, system design, or energy audits. You work on large infrastructure projects as an independent contractor now. And for you to have a consulting firm, you must be a certified engineer, like we say, not just a graduate engineer, but a certified one. Then you also have government and regulatory bodies. You've heard of IPRA, that regularly review the prices of fuel in the country. You can actually seek employment here. This is the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority. You can also seek employment in the Engineers Board of Kenya. You become part of those who actually certify other engineers. You can also decide to go to the Ministry of Energy and Parastatus, and your role here will be policy formation and regulation of electrical systems, inspecting and certifying installation for safety and efficiency. Then finally, you can decide to go international. I mean, you can decide to go for global careers, especially after the certification with organizations like Institution of Engineering and Technology (IET) and the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, that is the Institute for the World. So you can get to Middle East, Europe, North America, where demand for engineers actually remains high. And with that, we come to the very end of our video today. Don't forget to subscribe. Remember, electrical engineering is a great career. I wish you success in your endeavors. Please do subscribe, comment, like to this particular channel so that we'll be able to impact the community as we proceed. I wish you the very best. See you next time.